So, guys, we know this is two parashot this week, and a lot of people at home, and we have two portions, Matot Masei, and all the commentary, whatever it is, Kabbalah or simple lectures, they all talk about one thing, that whatever we read something, it's a corresponding to something above. So the Torah is not just come here to tell a story, it's a code. Everything that we are looking at, it's a code. Once we break the code, once we understand, then things become easier because it's no longer about the story. It's no longer about, Adam is hiding from God, or Matot or Masei. There is meaning to everything. The Zohar, and specifically Rabbi Isaac Luria in this week's parashah, is giving us a meaning for that, and that's what we're doing here. The purpose is eventually that more people will be more aware of why we're reading what we're reading. Otherwise, the different people ask me what's the difference between religion and spirituality. Religion, God exists in one place. Spirituality, God is everywhere. It's not just in one place, right? I mean, it's everywhere, wherever you go. Whenever you're going down and you're doing terrible, God is there. When you're doing growth, God is there. Ani Hashem lo shiniti, meaning God say, I didn't change. You changed, but I didn't change. So sometimes when people feel they did well, they're right. When people feel they did terrible, they're right. Some people feel they have a good day, they're right. Some people feel they have a bad day, they're right. Whatever you feel, you're right. It doesn't really matter what you feel. It's the same. Because from God's point of view, really, it doesn't matter. For that reason, most synagogue, when you look at synagogue, say, Shiviti Hashem lenigdi tamid. I put God in front of me all the time. But Shiviti is also the word shaveh. Shaveh means equal. It's equal to me. And the Baal Shem Tov say, if there is something you want to work on the idea that Hashem is shaveh, that Hashem is equal. Whatever you have an argument with your husband, your wife, whatever you have a peaceful, wonderful time, it's shaveh. You experience it differently. And the same thing, if we talk about Matot Masei, before even we start getting into it, is to understand that in the portion, sometimes we read about Bilam, Balak, sometimes we read a nice parashah, it's much easier, it's cool parashah, it's Noach, building the ark, some elephant going on, giraffe, we're counting who's in, who's out. It's the same. It's just we experiencing different. Now, what is that experience? What can we call it? What is the Kabbalist? What is the name the Kabbalist given? The Kabbalist given a name in Hebrew. It's called kelim. Kelim, if we translate it into English, it will be vessels or vehicle. Meaning the light of God is the same. How we experience life is through the kli that you have. If your kli is a kli gadol, if your kli is a big vessel, you're gonna have a lot. If your kli is kli katan, you're gonna have very little. If your vessel is very dirty wine will be there. If the kli is very clean, you cleaned well for Passover, the wine will be taste very good. So truly, the fulfillment you have in your life is actually the same. It's really never changed. What type of kli, what type of vessel you have. And I was talking to a wonderful lady from London on Friday, and she asked me a very good question. I think a great question, and I'm very happy that she asked me that. And I told her that she have to think a little bit bigger. She have to think a little bit bigger. And she asked me a very great question. Why? Why should I think bigger? Why should I think more money? Why should I think to be more happy? Why should I think more vacation? Why should I think more fun? Why? Why? Just tell me why. I said, first, it's a great question. That's very good that you ask. And it's very good that you don't know the answer for such a thing. And my answer was, maybe it can be useful for everybody, is that the Creator wants to share with you. The Creator wants to give you everything. Everything you dream about, 10 times more is what the Creator wants to give you every day. So just make a list of whatever you want, double it, triple, 10 times. That's what the Creator want to give you. So let's say right now in the lottery is 400 million. Everybody pass it by the sign, maybe today. 400 million. So if you think about 400 million, 10 times will be, I don't know the number, 4 billion. Is it called 4 billion? That will be 4 billion that the Creator. Do you have a vessel for it? Do you have a clue? What are you going to do with it? Because I don't know what to do with 4 billion. I have no clue. I'm not chacham in this.
I do.
Good for you. I have no idea what to do with 4. What do you do with 4 billion? So when before you ask, you have to ask yourself one question: am I capable? Do I have it in me even to accept and receive it? Because the Creator want to give you, the Creator want to serve you. The point is when you ask for big. Now back to the lady in London. When you ask for more, it's because you want to give pleasure to the Creator. It's called in Hebrew, לעשות נחת רוח ליוצרנו, meaning to give pleasure to our Maker. So our Maker want to give you, and by you receiving, you give a pleasure to the Creator. What happened in the parashah Matot Masei? Matot Masei is 2 parashot. It's in the end of book of Bamidbar. We know that the first 4 books of Moses written by God, that's why it's called Yud Ke Vav Ke. And it's called Yud Ke Vav Ke because the first book, Yud Ke and Vav Ke. So what is the last book? The last book is Dvarim. It summarized, Moshe Rabbeinu summarized the other 4 books. So that's why it's related to Moshe Rabbeinu. The last book related to Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm not talking about physical writing, because the physical writing, if you wish, it's happened by God in heaven before the universe was created. So the Torah was the blueprint of creation. So it was written before the creation of this physical universe. It should read in the Midrash. So Matot and Masei, one section dealing with Mattot, Ele Rashi Mattot, meaning the head of the tribe, and different story like this. Talk about nedarim, vows. Those of don't know what nedarim. Nedarim is when you promise to do something and you don't do it. It's considered one of the worst sin a human being can do. And that's why the first thing you start with the Rosh Hashanah, you do something called atarat nedarim, canceling of the vow, canceling of the shvuah and the nedarim. Unfortunately, many people don't take neder seriously. Sometimes you get stuck in a synagogue, you go in there, the person, the rabbi give you aliyah, say, come here, Yosef, come here. You want this aliyah? Say, yes. And you get the aliyah, and then the rabbi put you in the jacket and say, excuse me, how much money you want to give? You think to yourself, I didn't know there is a deal like that. Maybe I don't want the aliyah, but you already received that, so you got to say some numbers. Then the crowd looking at you because the last guy said $1,000. And you have $26 in your account. What are you going to do now? So if you say $26, well, you may say it, but it's a neder. You just make a vow. And if you make a neder, it's a problem. You have to keep it. One of the traditions is usually you change the watch from this side to this side, or you're opening one button. You have to remind yourself. You cannot forget the neder. Neder is something that you have to do right away. So nedarim this is the parashat Mattot, all about neder. Unfortunately, many people promise things and they don't do them. Even if you tell your friend, I will be on 5th Avenue and 75, you gotta be there. Now, what is the neder thing? Neder is nun and dar. Dar, in Hebrew, it's like dira. Those of you in real estate mean apartment. Efa ata dar. In Hebrew, in a nice Hebrew, you say, where are you living? Efa ata gar. But the real Hebrew would be dar. Efa ata dar. Where do you live? And so dar meaning that you make a promise you will be there. That's been your spirit, your soul went there to 75 and 5th Avenue, but your body stay in Brooklyn. We got a problem, we got a space. And that space that you created bring negativity into your life. You don't want to promise things you can't deliver. Actually, it's better not to promise a thing. Or at least write down in your text as well, because some people ask me, is it only when I speak? Also in text. Put BN, bli neder, or put bli neder in Hebrew if you know how to write Hebrew. Please do not promise. It causes you a lot of harm. That's why Yom Kippur, what do? Kol nidre. What do you do? Kol nidre. Again, another time. The nedarim is the way you come to God. Why you come to God with that on Rosh Hashanah? Why? Kol nidre, you coming in front of Hashem like that. Because you want to bring all of you in front of Hashem. You have many pieces. You promised to somebody to be in Amsterdam next year. Piece of you is in Amsterdam. I'm going to Morocco. You piece of you is in Morocco. I'm going to be in Miami next week. The flight was canceled. Part of you is in Miami. So when you come in front of God on Rosh Hashanah, you bring all the pieces. Come with me. We're all going to pray together to Hashem. So that's Matot. Masei is a parashah that talk about Masaot Bnei Israel, 42 in numbers. My son arranged for you something very mystical and very powerful, and I will explain it in a second. And this is 42 Masaot, 42 journey that Bnei Israel has to go. Why does it have to be Dafka 42? There is a famous prayer, we all say it in the Siddur, most of us skipping it because we don't know why it's even there. It's called Ana Bekoach, it's in the Siddur, right after Korbanot, but those of you in a rush usually say, I can skip that, I can go to Odu, forget about that. But it's a very important tefillah, written by Rabbi Nechunya ben Tana. He was a great Kabbalist, one of the greatest of all time, a person who can teleport his body from one place to another. And he said within this prayer, there is basically about 1,000 pages just on this page. So I don't know all the secret, but within this prayer, you can actually teleport your body from one place to another. I don't know how to do it, so don't ask me. But he write it in his book, and he talk about it. So this prayer basically has everything. Now the Masaot leaving Egypt until we're getting in front of Eretz Israel, in front of Israel, it's take exactly 42 Masaot. So it's corresponding as written by a rabbi, I don't know if you heard his name before, Rabbi Shimshon Maastrapoli. Rabbi Shimshon Maastrapoli was one of the greatest rabbi of all time too, great books. And he write about that you, in this Shabbat, when you go to synagogue, take this page with you, and every Masal look at what it's corresponding to Ana Bekoach. You're supposed to do it also in Passover as well. Anyway, that was the introduction, took me long. In Yan Klali, the general idea. So if we would like to understand as above, so below, meaning there is something happening in heaven, and that's why it has to happen here. So whatever choice you make, if you have traffic on 72nd Street, there is something going on in the same thing in the upper world. I know it's very hard to believe, but the same Manhattan that we have here, we have in the upper world, another Manhattan. The same you and me, you and me. Yeah? There is a parallel universe above us also, happening at the same time. Just less chaos, less problem, because whatever we do here, affecting the upper world, that world, and whatever happened in the upper world affecting us. So we are working together. So more, you're being nice, you're being kind, you're being forgiveness, you're giving energy to above. How do we know that? From the pasuk called Nu Oz LeElokim. Give strength to God. Well, God need our power? No. But Nu Oz LeElokim, meaning every time you act in a certain way, it's elevated energy. There is a story that I heard about 35 years ago from a wonderful rabbi from Bnei Brak. And the story goes like this. In Russia, I don't know if there's people from Russia, but in Russia, that's what the rabbi said, they like honey. And they like their honey. I don't know if you ever meet, it used to be a place called the Russian Tea House. I don't know if you heard about it. It don't exist anymore, but many years ago, it used to be a place. You know, you're going downstairs, going upstairs, they serve you tea and honey. Basically, the Russians like their honey. But the problem that they have the Russian bear also like the honey. And there is an argument who's going to get the honey first. The bear get it better. So what they did, they moved the beehive on top of the tree, and they thought they're going to solve it. The bear climb and get the honey. So they came up with a genius idea. They took a piece of wood, attach it to a wire, an iron wire, really strong, attach it to a nail and put it to the upper tree. Every time the bear come to get the honey, you want to move that thing, and that thing is, the wood is coming back and hitting him. So what is the bear? What are you going to do? You're going to hit it a little stronger. Yeah, wait for me. And then what happened? Hit him harder. Then the third time he's really hitting it hard, and then he fall from the tree. And that bear never come and get the honey. Those of you who love animal don't like the story because you love the bear, the poor bear. Those of you are like human, happy for the human so they can have honey with the tea. So you have to decide which group you belong to. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so the story is not about the bear and it's not about the honey. The story is about us. It's called Da Mala Mala Mimcha. A lot of time we're fighting, we think. We're fighting and we're fighting and we're fighting. All what the bear needs to do is climb a little bit upstairs and take the nails out, and then he will enjoy a good meal of honey. That's all what the bear needs to do. A lot of time we get stuck. We get stuck with things. We're fighting with things. This person bothered me, this person bothered my brother, my sister, my wife, my husband. Da male mala mimcha. There is things above that are way more important than what you're dealing with. And unfortunately, because we're dealing with those things, we're forgetting that there is things above. I'm going to read now from one of my favorite, I don't like to say favorite book because that's an insult for other book, but it's an important book for me. So I cannot tell you it's the most important book. It's called Arve Nachal, Ifshitz, Rabbi Ifshitz. And this book is explaining the whole concept of cause and effect, or whatever above is below. And he writes like this. There is a most famous question that everybody asks in this week parashah. Everybody asks the same exact question. Ele masei bnei Israel, those are the traveling of the Israelite. Asher yatzu me'eretz Mitzrayim, that they left Egypt, letzivotam, with all the army, with all the domain, with everything. Biyad Moshe ve'Aaron, with the hand of Moses and Aaron. Every time, by the way, every time you see the letter Aleph on the name of a person, and next to him a letter of a Mem, you know that's redemption. Those people bring redemption. Aaron, Moshe, Aleph Mem. Mordechai, Esther, Aleph Mem. King David, Mashiach ben David, Aleph Mem. Always Aleph Mem, Aleph and Mem together. That's why it say M. M mean mother. Those are the people who bring the redemption eventually. I'll just give you just Kabbalistic quotes so you know how to know when Mashiach is coming. You see two people, Aleph and Mem in their name. They do things together for the community. You know for sure those people going to bring Mashiach, going to bring something very powerful. Anyway, and then Vayichtov Moshe et Motzahem lemasehem. Moses wrote Motzahem lemasahem, where they exit and where they travel. Al pi Hashem, by the words of God, ve'lemasahem lemotzahem, and those are the travel, how they exit. He changed the words. First he say Motzahem lemasahem, and then he say Masahem lemotzahem. All the Kabbalists ask this question: why are you changing the words? It should stay the same words. Why are you changing it? Is the question clear before? Because sometimes when the question is not clear, the answer has no value. Is that clear? I can repeat it. Don't be shy. Is it clear? Good. אומנם לתרץ, to give an answer for that, הנה דבר ידוע ומפורסם שכל התורה מדברת למטה ורומזת למעלה. Every time you read the Torah, you should never take the story as that's the Torah. It say למטה רומז למעלה. Be careful. A lot of time, people are, those of you are pray Sephardic style, in the Siddur, there is a section that say, if you don't say it, you have the curse on Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on your head. That's what it say. You should read it in Hebrew. It say, Lagid, it's a section in the Zohar, so you're not going to have the curse. What is the curse? The curse of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is go like this. If people read the Torah as it is, and they don't looking for the meaning of it, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai cursing them. He said, you are making a shame of the Torah. The Torah should not be just as it is. There is a meaning to it. And it say like this, התורה מדברת למטה, it's talk about different thing, about Bilam, about the donkey of Bilam. How is that going to add something? It's a code. Do you care that Bilam hit his donkey 3 times? What will be 5? What about 2.5? He hit it 2 times with a stick and 1 time with a leg. Do you care about it? Do you care that they don't say 3 פעמים? It is 3 פעמים, it says 3 רגלים. עד כמה הכית אותי 3 רגלים. Regalim, like the regel, that the holiday. So it's all code. Our entire Torah is a code. So you have to look for meaning. What do you think? All those books were written for no reason? They knew that the Torah is just a code. We are there to break the code. And it say like this, כן המסעות האלה, even the traveling, we're going to read this week parashah, והעניין כי כל הדברים הגשמיים, יש להם שורש למעלה. Every physical thing in the Torah has a roots in the upper world. ולשורש, שורש נשתלשל זה מזה. And everything nishtalshel, meaning it's coming from above, and it's like a flow chart all the way here. ולכן, המדבר שהוא מקום הקליפות, the desert which is the place of negativity, נחש, שרף הקרב, snake, scorpion, which is the physical thing, of course it's a spiritual thing, כיוון שהקליפה קדמה לפרי מסביבת לקדושה, כסביב רשעים תלכון, and usually the dark side coming before the good side. Every time you go into a rough time in your life, I hope you never have to, but before you get something good, you'll have to go to something bad. Remember that. But if you're not happy about the bad thing you're going through, the good is not coming. Get excited when you go into a rough time, good time is coming. Get sad about the bad time, good time will wait. It's always the same. Somebody broke your heart, you went on a date, things are not working well. Don't be sad about it, because good thing is about to knock on your door. Be upset, it's not going to work. So it's like this. הוכרחו תחילה ללך דרך כל המקומות האלה במדבר ולשבר אותם קליפות עד בואם לקדושה. נמצא הכל מדבר למטה ורומז למעלה. ולכן יש מבית מסעות נגד שם מבית, כי זה לעומת זה והבן. It's telling us there is 42 traveling to correspond for the Ana Bekoach, for that prayer. The Ana Bekoch has 42 letters. The same thing is the Masot. Still, I'm not benefit from it. So he continue. ויש לדקדק. מה שאמרו ז"ל, שהשם יתברך רצה להביאם תכף לארץ ישראל. God want to take the Israelite from Egypt immediately to Israel. What is Israel? What is it? What is Israel? Everybody. There is people who love Israel because they're Zionists. There is people who love Israel because it's a memory of something. There is people who love Israel because there is shawarma. The shawarma is good in Israel, so they go for Israel. I see people on Elal, can't wait to land to get my chatzilim, to get my eggplant. That's not Israel. It's not Israel. You have many restaurants here with great shawarma. If you want, you can go to Queens. There is an old restaurant called Pisgah. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Great food, better than Israel. So it's not about the food. It's not about the physicality. Israel has an energy that we have to tap into. Before it was called Israel, it was called Canaan. Canaan comes from the word le'achnia, to surrender. This land is an energy. If you don't surrender the ego, you cannot enjoy Israel. Israel is only for one reason. You go there to surrender your ego. In some section, Rambam write that there is no reason to do mitzvot outside of Israel. You have to go to Israel to do the mitzvot. A lot of argument on that. Tefillin, for example, everybody agreed. Tefillin is a mitzvah shel Eretz Israel. So why put tefillin as ben every morning? Why? Why am I bothered myself? Rub the tefillin. So they say, la'argil et atzmo, to get used to the idea that when you go to Eretz Israel, you'll be ready. So it shows you that Eretz Israel is something that we're missing. So Hashem want to bring them immediately to the land. צריכים ללכת דרך אותן המסעות מקום הקליפות. But they have to go through the negativity, to the dark side. וזה נמשך בהמשך זמן. That's take time. אמנם יובן זה על פי דברי הרב בעל נזר הקודש, אוקיי? ויהי ביקש 30 שנה ו400 שנה, ויהי בעצם ביום הזה, בתמצית דבריו שהשם יתברך מחליף ומעביר את הזמנים. The revelation from ערבי נחל, which is one of the greatest revelation and the most important revelation, is that Hashem מחליף את הזמנים. Hashem can shorten the process of your life. Meaning, if you meant to stay in Egypt for 400 years, that's what Hashem said to Abraham. You're supposed to stay in Egypt for 400 years. How come? If you count the years, 210. It's a little bit something. But in the Torah, it says that they were there 430. When you start counting, I thought you're counting, you can't count it when Joseph was there. He had a good time. He was second to Pharaoh. And you can't count it when. So the Midrash says it starts from Yitzchak, from the time of Yitzchak. From the time of Yitzchak never visited Egypt. What's going on with the counting here? So why is Hashem counting the time different for the Israelite? שהשם יתברך מחליף ומעביר את הזמנים למעלה, לכן מה שהיה כוח הגאולה, היה בזמן שאחר תף שנה, בא אז מיד כי אותו הזמן הגיע תכף, כי החליף והעביר את הזמנים, אין שם באורך. Hashem told the Israelite, listen, you're ready. I am the one who makes sure that you will go through pain and suffering in Egypt. Why? I mean, I cannot go to details. Maybe one day we'll study that. It's reincarnation reason. Who are the people? The people is the same people from Migdal Bavel. It's a long story. But that was what they have to pay. And Hashem wanted to go to that pain and suffering so they will be ready to go to Eretz Israel. I'm not talking about Eretz Israel that we know. The shawarma and the hummus and the watermelon. And oh my God, I love the Western Wall. People tell me, I love it. I love it. Sometimes, in the last 30 years, I took, thousands of tourists to Israel. And every time I go to the Western Wall, I'm telling the same words. I'm taking there. And sometimes when Debbie's sitting next to me in the bus, I say, can I just take the microphone and say what I want to say is Israeli? I said, stop it. Stop. Control yourself. Go in the back and just relax. Meditate. So I really want to tell them something. I want to tell them that wall represents that we're missing the point. We missed it. That's what that wall represents. That wall, it's reminding us that we didn't get it right. That wall is to remind us what the Talmud say, דור שלא נבנה בית המקדש בימיו, כאילו הם החריבו אותו. They destroy it themselves. 2,000 years. Are we not getting the message? Something wrong with us? We are missing one mitzvah, and that one mitzvah, we cannot make it happen. One mitzvah. We're missing it. We kind of, don't worry about the mitzvah. I know how to do a motzi. I know how to wash my hand. I know how to do parashat challah. I know how to light candle for Shabbat. I know how to go up for the Torah. I know all the mitzvah. Hey, listen, there is one mitzvah. I don't know if you want to hear about it. Yeah, tell me. Tell me why this temple was destroyed. Well, if you go into the Gemara, into the Talmud, the temple was destroyed because sinat chinam. Hatred for no reason. That's it. You want to talk about it? No. Give me the shawarma now. I don't want to talk about it. Sinat chinam. One reason. One. That's it. One thing. We're not capable to do this one mitzvah. One. It's not allowed, not one mitzvah. In fact, when you go to Hillel, I mean, if we respect Hillel, I don't know, I think he's an important person. Hillel said, when the ger, the person who convert, come to him and said to him, tell me the Torah while I'm standing on one leg. What he meant on one standing on one leg? Meaning, there is something in all your Torah that can stand on thing and will never fall. You have one thing that can stand like that? So yeah, we do. We do. He didn't tell them love the neighbor as thyself. You know what he told them? Whatever you don't like people to do to you, don't do to others. Make a list. It's so simple. Tonight, go home, make a list of all the things you don't like people do to you. Just focus on that. And don't do the same thing to others. That's it. It's not a lot. So what is that you don't like people do to you? I don't like people touching the spoon before I'm eating the soup. Great. Don't do it to others. I don't like when people talk to me too loud. Oh, great. Don't do it to others. That's it. That's the whole mitzvah of love the neighbor as thyself. That's what Hillel is teaching us. Rabbi Akiva say the same thing. Love the neighbor as thyself. Klal gadol b'Torah. Parashat Vayikra in the Torah. Mitzvah deoraita. This is not mitzvah that came from rabbi. This mitzvah came from God. Love the neighbor as thyself. In fact, they tell you even more than that. If you see the donkey of your enemy, rovetz tachat masao, meaning the donkey is kind of collapsed, your enemy. Azor ta'azor imo, you have to go and help him. How far is the Torah telling us one mitzvah? Give us one. We will take care of everything. In fact, this is the one thing we don't like. We don't like that mitzvah. It's a tough one because it's ben adam lachavero, it's between people. So what we do, thank God we have now phones, we have Facebook, we have TV, we have Netflix, we have the one that you can buy, Amazon, you have other channels, 1,000 options. When I grew up in Israel, it was one channel. That's it. One channel. And when you fight over the TV, I was the remote control. My father sent me there to press 1 and to press 2. It's not like today, you can do. In those days, I don't know. You go and the antenna was on top. I don't know if you remember those things. You move it, touch, right. Okay, right. That was life. Most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. But life was different. Today, Habibi, you have 1,800 channel, I think. You have no idea what's going on. No idea where I'm going. Okay? And the problem is, it's all to keep us busy, not to be busy with human beings. We must, your neighbors, your friend, your brother, your sister, your wife, your husband, we must work on that. Rav Ashlag, in 1922, he wrote a book that is on Sefer now. You can read it, but it's only in Hebrew, I'm sorry. It's called Matan Torah. And he writes something incredible there. And he writes, one of the things that we like to do is we like to criticize people. There is, I don't want to say it's a Jewish thing, but it's let's call it Israeli thing. Let's not call it Jewish. It will be easier for everybody to digest. It's an Israeli thing. We are Israeli. I'm Israeli. We like to tell people what they're missing. If you ever want to know what's wrong with you, what you did wrong, take a taxi ride to Jerusalem. Don't worry. The taxi driver will tell you what's wrong with you. Just talk to him. Talk and he will tell you everything what's wrong with you. We are Israeli. We love to tell you what's wrong with you. Rav Ashlag writes, even to think about what's wrong with the other person, it's a problem. It's not to tell. So what do? You're going to go with your eyes all day long down? It's a very difficult thing. And Rav Ashlag writes that the purpose we came into this world is one. It's to correct ourselves, never to correct others. Never to correct others. And he gave a mashal, he gave a story. And the story goes like this. A person walk and he's standing in front of a mirror and his face is really dirty. So he went out there and he bought a soap and he bought a beautiful fabric. And he started cleaning the mirror, very nice. And he go and look again. his face is still dirty. So he decided to clean it again. The face is still dirty until a person passed by. So what are you doing? Say, my face is dirty and I'm cleaning the mirror with all the expensive fabric and soap and still my face is dirty. He said, the mirror has nothing to do with it. You got to wash your face and then it will be okay. It's the same exact thing. We could enter Israel immediately after Egypt. You know why? God doesn't have time. God doesn't wear watch. For God, and I know it's hard to accept it, God doesn't have past, present, and future like us. The end is here. The beginning is here too. Everything is, it's like a seed of an apple. Within the seed of the apple, there's the beginning of the tree, the end of the tree, everything is there. It's there, it's condensed. So for Hashem, I'm ready. Are you ready? Are you capable? And that's what it says. Now we know what it means that he changed the word מוצאם, מסעים, where they exit and where they travel. When the Torah was written by Hashem, המסעות, those traveling, אין הכוונה כלל על מסעות ממש. Hashem said, you don't need to travel at all. You don't need to suffer. You don't need to go to pain. Never. This is not part of the deal. But if you go to pain and suffering, you got to ask yourself, what is that you're doing wrong? It's not part of the deal for you to have pain. It's not part of the deal to go to struggling. You have to remember, from Hashem's point of view, Hashem want to give you everything. What do you think? Hashem created you, so let him have a little pain. That's not the point. Think about it. Parents created the child. How are we going to make our child suffer? Let's think about it. We can give him wrong apartment, wrong neighbor, never make money, wrong soulmate. No, it's wrong. If you look at the writing, what it say about Hashem, why he created the human? Le'etiv lenivraha in Hebrew. To do good to the one he created. So how come you're experiencing bad? Going back to what I said in the beginning. Look at your vessel. Look at your container. Look at your cup. Your cup is what are you made from? Are you a person? What type of person are you? Masaim. What type of Masai you have? What type of traveling? Are you a person who for sure know that the Creator want to give you perfection? Or you kind of think, I think God want to punish me today. Yeah, I feel it. I feel God is not into me. I did bad thing yesterday and he want to punish me. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. The Creator only want to do one thing, to love you. There is no hatred or punishment coming from God. So some of you can challenge me and say, well, you can see what happened here. You can see what happened here. Try to imagine, and even you're not allowed to imagine God, that there is a source of energy that has to protect itself by surrounding. So try to imagine, I know it's hard, that the internal part is called Yud Kevavke, Tache Gametan. But the outside part of that Yud Kevavke is Elokim. If you can imagine that. That Elokim, the surrounding the Yud Kevavke is Rachamim, is the real God. The Elokim has two sides. Elokim can be Elokim Chaim, live God like Elokim, or Elokim Acherim. Lo yeh lochem Elokim Acherim. You shouldn't have other God. That's the part that we get punished by or get disconnected from. It's almost like electricity. I can use it for light, for the camera, for the air condition. Or I can put my finger into the socket. What happened when I put my finger into the socket? Not good news. So while the person is shaking with all his body, people ask him, what's going on? I say, maybe it's what I ate for dinner. It's not. Just get your finger out of the socket and everything will be okay. It's the same exact thing with the Creator. That force loves you. That force wants you to do the best. That force only wants you to do great. But if your cup is dirty, then when you put the perfect champagne into the cup, it will not taste like champagne. It will taste like the dirt that inside the glass. Now, you want to clean yourself, not for him. He loves you unconditionally. You don't want to clean it because people will like you more. No, it's for you. The all avodat, Hashem, this all spiritual work has nothing to do with others. Nothing to do with God. God loves you. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. How do we know that? It say that afilu ganavim, the Gemara teach, afilu ganavim yesh emunah. Even a thief have emunah. A thief can have emunah. Somebody who goes steal have emunah. Yes, they pray not to be caught. And Hashem grant them that the pray will be okay. There's a famous story about the Baal Shem Tov. I'm sure you heard it 1,000 times. Baal Shem Tov, he has a one of his students, it's a known story, was Rabbi, no, it's not Rabbi, it's Moshe Ganav, that's how they call him. Moshe the young thief. So he used to steal. But he was living in I don't know if you know, Krakow. If you've been there in Poland, I've been there with Debbie for a few hours. And Krakow used to be a poor neighborhood. So how much can you steal? 1 ruble, meaning $0.50, $2, that's as much. For bubble gum, that's it. One time there's Moshe Ganav, and every time he steals $2, he go to Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov bless him that the police will not capture him. It's a true story. It's an unbelievable story. True story. Every time he go on a weekend, steal $2, he go, Baal Shem Tov bless him. One time he gathered 10 thieves together, and the Tsar was passing by. He said, Habibi, this is our chance. This is our lottery ticket. We can make 1,000 and we share it among us. And they make it, and they're of course afraid because they can kill them now. And he said, nobody touch the money. I have to go talk to my Rebbe. I have my Rebbe. This rabbi will bless me so nobody will catch us. So now, he stole the $1,000. He go to the Rebbe. He arrive, and this is Shavuot. I don't know if you know, the Baal Shem Tov unfortunately died on Zayin of Sivan. I said, I'm sorry. He's not here. He passed away. I said, what do you mean passed away? I mean, I'm Moshe, I'm the Ganav, I'm the thief. And he's my Rebbe. Do you have another Rebbe? So I don't want to say the other Rebbe name because it's not nice for his name to say it. So I heard it from Rabbi Karlibach, if you know Rabbi Karlibach. So he said, well, we have this Rebbe, but he come to talk to him. He said, get out of here, you thief. What are you, stupid? We're not taking care of thief. So he left, and where did he go? He go to the graveyard. With the Baal Shem Tov grave, those of you who've been there in Mizibush, Ukraine, and he lined there. I start crying. So Baal Shem Tov, you left me, and you promised to take care of me every time. I did a big thing. Now it's 1,000 thing. I'm even going to give Maser, a tithing, and all waiting for the money. What am I going to do? He cry, fall asleep. Fall asleep. His soul go to heaven. He said the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov said, what happened? He said, well, you know what happened. I went to yeshiva. You left that rabbi. He's a little tough. He's not accepting people like me. He's accepting, the scholar, the chachamim, the rich. They're not important. Me, who's going to look at me? I said, don't worry. I left my grandson. His name is Rabbi Ephraim. Those of you know the book, Degel Machane Ephraim. That's the name of the book. Say, go to him. Say, he will not believe me. He say, I will tell you what we studied last night in heaven, in the Torah, in the Zohar. He gave him a section from the Zohar. He said, nobody knows that section. Only people who left their body and go to heaven and study with a group in heaven. So, okay, you like it, you wake up, you go with the thing in Zohar, not to forget, you go to the Degel Machane Ephraim, you go and knock on the door. And Rabbi Ephraim, very humble man, opened the door, say, Shalom Aleichem. Say, how can I help you? He said to him, my name is Moshe, the famous Ganav, the thief. I said, okay, what do you want? He said, well, I stole 1,000 ruble and I need a blessing. So about to close the door, say, wait a minute. Your grandfather told me what you studied last night in heaven. And he said, come in right away. Come in, making tea, start serving him cake. He said, first I'm blessing you, but you really, with your profession, you went to heaven? How can that be? And at that moment, Moshe, that's the beautiful of transformation. That Moshe never stole even a penny again. What is the lesson for all of us from this story? A lot of time we meet people when they're not ripe yet. They're not perfect yet. They're in the middle to become better. Because they've never been touched by something holy. They've never been touched by real people. They've never been touched by real rabbi. Most rabbi, of course, want people to be perfect. It's easier to teach perfect people than teach ganavim, thief, cheater, the whole thing. But there is a soul there. There is a soul. What is the soul of somebody who committed a crime? It's a diamond that fell into the mud. Diamond fell in the mud. You want to tell me, and I can ask the lady, if you have a ring which is 5 carat, it fall into the mud, you don't pick it up. You just leave it there, or you pick it up, you clean it, you wash it a little bit, and then you wear it again. Same thing. That's the soul of people. Sometimes people fall. I fall. You fall. We all fall. We fall. And when we fall down, sometimes we need a person to pick us up. Sometimes we don't have the power to pick ourselves up. It's difficult. It's very difficult. And that's what Arve Nachal is teaching us here. Masahem, Motzahem. Where you come from, where you going. Sometimes your journey will be tough. Because last lifetime you didn't do well. Sometimes your journey will be tough because you couldn't do it well in this lifetime. Sometimes the journey will have to be quick, and your job is to have gratitude. Some people come here to have gratitude. Some people come here to have appreciation. Some people come here to have more desire to do better. Every person comes to correct something, but really there is no difference between us. If I'm standing here, it doesn't make me better. I just heard this section before you, and that's what I'm sharing with you. So I'm sure each one of you have been in this position here in 2 lifetimes ago, and I was sitting as a student, and one of you maybe didn't make it, so then now it's my chance. So I'm teaching you. Hopefully I do a good job, and then I don't have to come back and sit again here, and then one of you have to teach it. That's how life goes. Life is nothing better, the teacher or the student. We're running the same thing. We're all human. Doesn't the yarmulke, the beard doesn't change the person. What changed? Are you capable to love a human being that you couldn't love last year? You couldn't love them last month. And this is Masayim v'Motzaim. Now, I'm talking a lot again. Somebody has to give me a thing. Anyway, I will go to another subject and then maybe I close it because I want to teach you how to meditate on that, as I promised people to teach them that meditation. So we know that when we talk about the land, every time that you arrive to a different country, one of my suggestions to you, there is something called ala'at nitzotzot. When we land, my kids can witness that, my wife, when I'm going to a different country, usually the first thing I do is I eat something. I do a blessing on something, whatever, mezonot, shakol, something. Why? Because the land itself, when your feet touch the land, there is a light to be revealed, and the easiest way to reveal that light for your soul is by eating. How do you do it? By saying a blessing. Baruch atah, shakol niya bidvaro, or borek priya gefen if you can handle it, or mezonot, or borek priya, it's different blessing, whatever blessing it is, So when you do that blessing, you elevate it. But again, the same question I asked before, what is it in Israel? Israel, according to Rabbi Avraham Azulai in the book called Chesed LaAvraham, is a land that above that, exactly above Israel, above Jerusalem, there is the Garden of Eden. Exactly above that is the spiritual Garden of Eden. When you enter Israel, you enter into a responsibility. A lot of us, when we land in Israel, landing in Israel, right away everybody running and getting into something. But truly, you're running into a lot of responsibility. Every thought, every word, and every action count, good and bad. But it's not a punishment. It's just putting your finger into the socket, mamash kacha, really like that. So you have to know how to behave in Israel. Unfortunately, it's difficult. You want to rent a car? Does some of you ever try to rent a car in Israel? Difficult concept. I'm afraid of that. I get angry. I'm trying to rent a car. Yes, I rent a car online. I arrive. It's a 4-door. I get and I find Diatsu. I don't know if you know what this car. It's a 2-door, and I have to sit like that. And what happened to what you promised me? That's what we have. So you don't like it, go home. So, but my luggage and this, Baruch Hashem, Israel give you opportunity. You want to park your car? They're going to take your parking spot. Whatever you're going to do, they're going to give you a car that I have to exchange in Kiryat Shmona. It's the northern part of Israel, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Everything is an opportunity to love more. We see that there is 2.5 tribes that refuse to live in Israel. Some of you know who are they? 2.5 tribes in this week. Parashah said to Moshe Rabbeinu, listen, we like it. We like Tel Aviv. We like, Tveria. We like the Sabich, the Shawarma, but we're going to stay on the northern part of Jordan, like where Syria is. And the 2.5 tribes are Reuven, Gad, and Chatzi Shevet Manasseh. The question that the Rabbi Isaac Luria is asking, why? Why those tribes? So let's go real fast. Reuven, how it happened? In the intercourse between a husband and wife, it's defined what type of child you're going to have. Basically, we are the product of the thought of our parents in the time of conception. That's who we are, by the way. You can't change it until you do something called mikveh with the right meditation. I'm not going to go into all of it, but just to let you know, you can't change it. This is who you are. Whatever they thought, that's what you are. The Ari write a lot about it. Reuven, who did Yaakov thought he's sleeping with? When he met Reuven. Rachel, who did he sleep with? Exactly. Leah. So now the conscience of Yaakov, different woman, another woman. So what was the name of the son? Reuven. What is Reuven? Reuben. Look, it's a boy. It's not even a name. Reuben. Ben. I didn't order it. I ordered pizza. I got falafel. Reuben. you know. Tzaddikim can order exactly what child they want, exactly the soul. They have like a menu, they know what they... Yaakov knew he wants Joseph. He knew that soul supposed to come down. Couldn't. The second, God. Who is God? Was from, those of you remember, from a concubine called Zilpah. Who Zilpah was belonged to? Leah. Leah is Zilpah, Rachel is Bil'ah. Two different concubines. Let's look at Zilpah. The first child of Zilpah is God. But they don't call him God, they call him Bagad. Bagad in Hebrew, those of you who know Hebrew, mean cheating. Where's the cheating? Aha. If you look at the verse before, Leah realized she cannot have children anymore. So instead of telling Yaakov, maybe you go be with my sister, she say, aha, no, I'm going to give him Zilpah. That's as the Khatam Sofer, right? It's a little cheating. She could have been nice to tell her, go to Rachel. That's what the conscience of God is, a little bit of something not absolutely pure. What about Menashe? Why half of Menashe? Take the whole Menashe in there. Why half? Who is Menashe? Who is the father of Menashe? Who know? Father of Menashe. Yosef. Who is the mother? The mother of Menashe. Who remember that? Osnat. Very good. Who was Osnat's mother? Dina. Dina, exactly. Bat Potiphera, exactly. Very good. But Dina was the sister of Yosef in a way, from a different mother. That was Dina. How did Dina get pregnant? If you remember the story, it was terrible condition. She was raped by Shechem ben Hamor. She was raped. It was a rape in a place called Nablus, where today it's called Shechem, the place where the most terrorists and the problem. Everything happened in that town, by the way. Everything that can go wrong happened there. In this little spot, Shechem, called Shechem, all the problem come from there. So she gave now Osnat. So the conscience was half and half. Dinah was the daughter of Jacob, the rape was that. So half of it. Why half? Joseph was pure, is the son of Yaakov, and that part was not totally pure. So it's only half of Menashe. This is not my knowledge and information. This has come from Rabbi Isaac Luria 500 years ago. He's teaching us the consciousness of a human being is so important. What you're thinking, you think just what you're saying, not enough. What you do, not what you're thinking. When you do what you do. When you give charity, what are you thinking about? When you're being nice to someone, what are you thinking about? You think that they will be nice back to you? You lost. You want to be nice, then be nice. You want to give, then be giving. Don't think about what am I going to get and who's going to like me and when they're going to like me. And they recognize me. How come I didn't get a thank you letter? You look at, didn't get a thank you letter. What's going on? No thank you letter for what I did. Nobody appreciate me. Thank God they don't appreciate me because finally I can do it right. But when you look for appreciation and gratitude from another human being, we lost it. That's not the way to go. That's the idea of the 2.5. There's so much more, but I'm going to go to meditation. Just one more thing. Okay, one more thing. So there is a question that's been asked about the 2.5 tribe. When they have some argument with Moses. And they say, listen, we're going to come and help you. But first we have to put fence for our goat and cow and sheep. Meaning we're going to take care of our business. And then we're going to build Bet Midrash like this where we study Torah. And then we're going to build synagogue. And then we're going to do it all. Let's first make money. Then we take care of you. Moses say, no, doesn't work. It's not the way to go. And they say, how are we going to pay? He say, Am Israel, the Israelite, the Jewish people, they are very special. On Mount Sinai, when God come to give you the Torah, you say something very unique. You say, Na'aseh v'nishma. You didn't say, Nishma v'na'aseh. We will listen and then, yeah, it's a good idea. We are in. No. You say, we're going to do it no matter what. And then we're going to listen to this instruction later. So who are you? The Talmud would say, Atem ma'aminim b'nei ma'aminim. You are a believer, the children of a believer. The children of a believer meaning Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You're a believer. That's your power. Why are you wasting that power, Moshe Rabbeinu told them? Start something and God will complete it. You don't have to worry. Every time you want to do something, start it as if it's going to be okay. As much as you're going to believe it's going to be okay, that's as much as it's going to happen. I will tell you a short story. I think most of you don't know me. So many years ago, I think 92, I was arrested in Argentina and Buenos Aires as the main terrorist. I don't know if you know that. My beard was a little bit longer, maybe that's why. And since then, I was afraid to grow a beard. I said, I never want to have a beard. It was a bad experience. So I was arrested as the number one terrorist to explode the Jewish embassy. And basically, they put me in with 3 other rabbis, and because they live in the same apartment with me. And it was Purim. It was the day of Purim. And of course, I don't speak Spanish. I went there just to establish the concept of Kabbalah and the concept of the Zohar and the concept of meditation, Kabbalistic meditation. I was very young. I go with some older rabbi, Rabbi Mizrahi. You don't know him. He's from Brooklyn. I don't know where is he now. And another rabbi from Eretz Israel. And another rabbi from either Venezuela or Panama at that time. So we were there. One of us speaks Spanish, the one from Venezuela. That's it. I have no habla español, no idea what's going on. But I'm opening the door, there is a gun into my face. I don't know if this guy in a good group or a bad group. You know, they say policia, I put some words together, police, policia. I thought it's a custom for Purim. I didn't understand what's going on. So I have the Megillah, we go into Minyan. So I thought it's a joke. I said, no habla, but Megillah, Purim. They put me down to the floor, of course. And I'm asking my friend, I said, what's happening? He said, well, they take us to prison. We are the terrorists that explode the embassy. Tell them we didn't. So I did. So tell them again. I said, no, Eliyahu, that's the way it is. And they say, you are the main guy. We are the helper. You are the main guy. Put the bomb. And we go into prison. And of course, they check you in, whatever, like hotel, different a little bit. And on the way in, there is people hanging they torture some people from the hand. Of course, it's not so nice. The guy from Israel who came all the way there, of course, look at me and say, what have you done to me? And I said, do you understand? This is it. We're dying. And I said, you know what? We're going to change it. Let's repeat after me. Whatever happening to us right now is the best thing that can ever happen to us. Just say it again and again. Say, you're nuts, you're crazy. Something is wrong with you. You're off. We knew you're off. I said, please repeat after whatever happened to you. And they said, okay, we're going to repeat it. So I'm walking in and I have no miracle in my pocket and no hope and no nothing. Only some excitement that God will do something. So I'm going to the guy who welcomed us to the prison when we give him the stuff. And I shake his hand. So what do you want to say? Shake my hand. Say, Shalom Aleichem. I said, maybe that's going to work. You look at me and say, Alechem Shalom. So, something is start working. I said, I look at Rabbi Israel, huh? Say, please don't even look at me. I said, Shalom Aleichem. No. So they put us in the cell. They lock us in. They allowed me to keep the Megillah. I was very happy about my Megillah. You know, I'm putting Megillah now. And we are reading the Megillah in the cell. And of course, those 3 other guys look at me. Who did we fall with? And we read the Megillah. And I said, now we're dancing. I said, we're not dancing. I said, we have to dance. It's Purim. Play it as if we're not in the cell. And we are dancing and dancing. After 4 hours, the Mossad arrived. And the Mossad want to see if we're really Israeli. Or they thought we are Pakistani. And we all had long beard. We look, you know. So the Mossad started investigating my friend from Israel. The moment they start bothering him, he came up with some tough words in Hebrew. Doesn't matter what he say. But right away they said, don't worry about them. Get them out. Get them out. They're Israeli for sure. They're out. After that day, we didn't know how to enter praise and meditation into Argentina and Uruguay. We thought we are smart and I have some plan, but nothing worked, by the way. All the money was gone. I had no money left. I thought I know what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing from a money point of view, from business. Hashem has a plan. So now we are finished with that. And they look at me and say, what a miracle, Mossad came, blah, blah, blah. Says, so we are about to get out of the apartment. The problem is on the newspaper and the magazine and TV, our picture is there, the most wanted, and it didn't change for the next day. That's a problem. They got to remove it. And there, I guess it's every 2 days, the La Nacion. They didn't remove the picture. And I'm coming out, and there is a lot of cameras outside, almost like when the Beatles kind of jump and everybody's like paparazzi, and I don't know Spanish. And of course, next to me, the guy from Venezuela said, what's going on? He said, well, they come to ask about what happened. He said, this is from Venezuela, Panama, Uruguay, Canada, United States. So I said, okay, we play it like this. So what do you want to do? So whatever they ask, whatever they're going to ask about the bombing, you answer one way. you will say the portion of the week is, and you're going to give a whole lecture of Torah through the camera. You just repeat it again and again. And he said, Eliyahu, you're crazy. I said, I'm begging you, do it. Trust me. You want to go crazy? Let's go all the way. And that's what we did. For 2 months, we were the most famous people on TV, on magazine. Everybody knew. You want to ask about Rabbi Isaac Luria, you want to ask about Zohar, you want to ask meditation. We are there. And that's how miracle happened. Now, I'm going to take you to a short meditation. You have that, or you can put it on your phone because we have something to scan. Basically, this I don't need to explain. This is just what I gave you. 42 Masaot. It's corresponding to Ana Bekoach. Keep it for you for this Shabbat, because this Shabbat, the second parashah we read is Masei. It's good to corresponding to that. The second part, the Arizal say you were supposed to do it every morning. I think I put numbers. Yeah, there is numbers. So it's go by order that how you let the name of Hashem going into your body, into your spirit. The spirit of a person, one day we will open an all meditation course for you, Jewish meditation, so you know the Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, how exactly it works. So basically in your bloodstream, it's a bridge between the soul and the body. This is actually the bridge between the two. Your ruach, your spirit, your breathing, this breathing is actually a connection to your ruach, part of the soul. Your thinking, when you think, is not just thinking, it's part of your neshama. So we have 3 parts in a human body. That's why when somebody dies, we light a candle, because candle is standing for neshama, ruach, ner, that's what it stands for. So what you want to do, I'm not going to sit because the people at home want to see me. So I'm going to stand, but you sit. I will tell you how to sit. If you can sit that your 2 feet touch the ground, don't cross arm and leg. The reason we don't cross, because every arm has an energy. This is chesed, this is gvura, the leg is netzach and od. So when we're crossing it, the energy is not happening the same. You want to sit with your 2 hands on your knee, okay? And you basically first have to see if you can do it. I mean, I know it's kind of short to explain to you. You have to be able, when your eyes closed, to see like a string, a silver string, chut shel chesed it's called. It's a silver string just above where the yarmulke is of a man or for a woman, exactly in that area, in the skull. Chut shel chesed, a line of silver from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, from the Creator, all the way touching that. Try to do it with your eyes closed. And then I'm going to help you to use that page as well. So focus on your breathing, because neshima, breathing is like neshama, like soul. Focus on your breathing until you feel that your breathing start to get relaxed. I'm going to look at you to make sure that you're getting relaxed. Try to not cross arm and leg and focus just on your breathing. Slowly, slowly, when you breathe, making sure that you hold it a little bit. You control the breathing, not the breathing controlling you. So breathe, hold it, and then release. Breathing, hold it a bit, and then release. That's what you want to do. Le'at, le'at. Focus in the next 3 breathing. Inhale, hold it for about 2 to 3 seconds. Then release, exhale, and then hold it again. Don't breathe right away. Do it like 3 times now, and feel how the shoulders drops and your body getting way more relaxed. What I want you to be able to see is the name of God, Yud Ke Vav Ke, the Tachigametan. Those of you who know what Kamatz is, it's a vow that is below the letter. It's just above your skull. See that that name is above your skull. Then on the right side of the brain, you want to see the same name of God, Yud Ke Vav Ke, Tachigametan, with Patach. Those of you who know the sound, play the sound in your head. I can do it for you so it will be easier. Above your head is going to be, I will use instead of hey, kuf. So it will be yaka vakaha. On the right side of your brain, yaka vaka. On the left side of your brain, which is tsere, yeke veke. Good. Now we go into the eyes. The eyes, Ain, is built exactly from the 5 times 26, which is 5 times Tetragrammaton. So it's 5 Yud Ke Vav Ke. That's what the right eyes. The same thing with the left eyes. Make sure that you allowed God to the silver line to go into your body, into your bloodstream. Accept the power of the Creator. Then you go to your ears. Your ears is built from a different type of Yud Ke Vav Ke. It's going to be Yud Vav Dalet, a Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, a Hey on the right ear. Then on the left ear, Yud Vav Dalet, a Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, a Hey. Then you go to your nose, the right side, Yud Vav Dalet, a Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, a Yud, and the left side of the nose, Yud Vav Dalet, a Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, a Yud. From there to your mouth, Yud Vav Dalet, a Yud, Vav Aleph Vav, a Yud, plus another name, Ekeye, plus all the Hebrew letters that exist. Bless your gum, your throat, your teeth, your tongue, everything. From there, the energy of the Creator is going to your right arm, Yekeveke, for Segol. Left arm, Yekeveke, Bishva. Then your body, the upper part of the body first, the heart and the lungs only, Yoko Voko, which is Cholam. And then the lower part of the body, which is all the organs of digestive, water, kidney, Yoko, Voko as well. Your right leg will be Netzach, which is Yiki, Viki, Cherik. And your left leg in Hod will be Yuku, Vuku, in Shuruk. The reproductive organ include the spine as well. That's one piece. It will be Yud, Vav, A, Vav, 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 A, Vav. And then the skin and the rest of the body, Yud Ke Vav Ke Pashut. And now inhale and exhale, and promise yourself to teach it at least to one person that you love, how to get the Creator connect to you. As Rabbi Isaac Loya called that section, Kisei HaKavod. This is how you need to start every morning. Okay, guys, take it with you. Just remember, you cannot throw it to the garbage. If you're afraid to throw it, you can leave it here and we can give it to you digital.